Hi, and welcome back to A Classroom in Balance Mindful Activities. You're joining me for day 11, and if you're following along in your book, whether it be digital or your hard copy, you can find day 11 on page 12. So take just a moment to turn to page 12, please, if you're following along. Today's activity is called Inner Critic versus Inner Best Friend. And I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to talk to you about what we mean by this, or what that means, right? I believe, right, and you've experienced that you have two different voices in your head, right? You've got this voice that's saying kind things, or that's saying uplifting, positive things to you, and that's who I like to call our inner best friend, right? They're things that your friends might tell you. And then you have this other voice that's a little more negative, that's a little more critical, that's very hard on you, right? It's still your voice, but this is that inner critic. Right? A critic is really hard on you. It's picking at things that you're not doing well, or things that you could do better or be better, right? Take a moment to reflect on which voice you typically let have the microphone. Which voice do you typically hear more often? And which voice do you listen to the most? Yeah? Is that inner best friend the one that's louder for you in your mind, that says, you can do it, you're awesome, you don't have to change the way you are, or hey, you failed this time, but you'll get it next time? Or is it that inner critic that's saying, man, you stink, you're never gonna amount to anything, can't believe you messed up on that again, I can't believe you said that to her, right? Which one of those voices is louder? Okay? This is important when it comes to building some awareness of our thoughts, building some awareness about our feelings and what we're saying to ourselves in our mind, right? In our last activity from day 10, you practiced watching your thoughts, right? You practiced observing that stream of thoughts without judgment. I want you to do the same thing the next time you hear that inner critic come up, or the next time you hear that inner best friend start to speak. Pay attention without judgment, and then decide if that's the voice you want to listen to, or if that voice needs to step away or be told to kindly be quiet, right? Now, I'd like to read a scenario out of the book. If you have that with you in front of you, you're welcome to follow along. Otherwise, you can just listen in. This scenario is going to walk you through an example of what inner critic and inner best friend might say, and then I'm going to invite you to apply this to your own scenario after this. So, the scenario is you leave your favorite sweater somewhere in school and you can't remember where you put it, right? So pretty common, right? Pretty minor, right? Nothing too crazy. Something that your inner critic might say is, you are so stupid. You always lose things. I can't believe you lost something again. Your inner best friend in this situation might say, it's fine. We'll find it. We'll retrace our steps. We'll go look in the lost and found. Hey, it was an accident. You had a big day. Do you see the difference in those thought patterns and in those voices? Yeah? Let's try one more. This next scenario is you send a text to one of your friends. You can see that they read it, but they haven't responded all day. No, that's happened to me. They didn't even say hi to you in the hallway either. Okay? Something that your inner critic might say, you did something wrong, and they don't want to be friends with you anymore. They hate you. They can't stand you. You're never going to be friends again. That's that inner critic, right? That negative voice that's going to bring us down. Now, something your inner best friend might say, hey, I wonder if they opened it in class and never actually read it, right? Or got distracted by something. Maybe they had a stressful day and they just needed to go and get to class and take that test, right? So taking a little pressure off yourself, says that inner best friend. Maybe it's nothing that you did at all, right? What I'd like you to do now, whether it's on your own or in small groups in your setting, is take a moment to stop this video and write out or talk through some scenarios just like this. Something that might happen throughout a school day, or that might happen in a friend group or on a weekend. And then talk through what your inner best friend might say to you in that situation and your inner critic. Take this one step farther if you're in a group, and then compare your answers and look and examine whose inner best friends are similar, whose inner critics are similar, and have a discussion. I hope that this activity is really insightful and helpful for you as you start to really develop and learn more about your self-talk.